1 Samuel 4. I read from the Institute for Scripture Research, the ISR, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. The letter J is about 600 years old, while Yehoshua died on a stake for the sins of all of humanity over 2,000 years ago. Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and the earth, the first and the last and the only. Yah is short for Yahweh. Could also be pronounced Yahweh. Yahweh is a very jealous El. He doesn't even like the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips. And Yehoshua in English is Joshua. 1 Samuel 4. Excuse me. Thus the word of Shemuel was to all Israel, and Israel went out to battle against the Philistines and encamped beside Eben Hazer. Eben is E-B with a line underneath of it, E-N, and then Hazer, or Hazer, H-A-apostrophe-E with a half a check mark, Z-E-R, while the Philistines encamped in Aphek, A-P-H-E with a half a check mark, Q, and the Philistines put themselves in battle array against Israel, and when the battle spread, Israel was stricken by the Philistines, who killed about 4,000 men of the army in the field. And when the people came into the camp, the elders of Israel said, "Why has Yah smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us bring the ark of the covenant of Yah from Shiloh to us, so that he comes into our midst and save us from the hand of our enemies." And the people sent to Shiloh, and they brought from there the ark of the covenant of Yah of hosts, dwelling between the cherubim, K-E-R-U-B with a line underneath of it, I-M, without the rings on them, because those rings on them, that's all Catholic demonism, basically. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Pinehas. Hophni is H with a dot, O-P-H-N-I, and then Pinehas is P-I-N-E-H with a dot, A-S, were there from the ark of the covenant of Elohim. And when the ark of the covenant of Yah came into the camp, all Israel shouted so loudly that the earth shook. And when the Philistines heard the noise of this shout, they said, "What is the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews?" And when they knew that the ark of Yah had come, and when they knew that the ark of the covenant had come into the camp, the Philistines were afraid, for they said, "Elohim has come into the camp." And they said, "Woe to us, for it has never been like this before." Why would you be afraid to go up against him and then not just fear him and serve him? Anyways. Woe to us, who shall deliver us from the hand of these mighty Elohim. These are the Elohim who struck the Mitzrites with all the plagues in the wilderness. Be strong and be men, you Philistines, that you do not become servants of the Hebrews as they have been to you. Be men and fight. And the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten, and every man fled to his tent. Ooh. And the slaughter was very great, and there fell of Israel 30,000 foot soldiers. And the ark of Elohim was captured, and the two sons of Eli died, Hophni and Pinehas. And a man of Benjamin ran from the battle line the same day and came to Shiloh with his garments torn and dirt on his head. And he came in and saw Eli sitting on a seat by the wayside watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of Elohim. And the man came into the city and reported it, and all the city cried out. And Eli heard the noise of the outcry and said, "What is the noise of this uproar?" And the man came hastily and informed Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were so dim that he was unable to see. And the man said to Eli, "Am I he who came from the battle. I am he who came from the battle, and I fled today from the battle line. And he said, What was the matter, my son? And the messenger answered and said, Israel has fled from before the Philistines, and there has been a great slaughter among the people. And your 2 sons have died, Hophni and Phinehas, and the ark of Elohim has been captured. And it came to be when he made mention of the ark of Elohim that Eli fell off the seat backward by the side of the gate, and his neck was broken, and he died. Well, that's unfortunate. For the man who was old and heavy, and he ruled Israel 40 years. And his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was pregnant, about to bear. And when she heard the news that the ark of Elohim was captured, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed herself and gave birth, because her pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the woman who stood by her said to her, Do not fear, for you have borne a son. But she did not answer, nor did she set her heart to it. And she called the child Ichabod, I-K with a line underneath of it, A-B with a line underneath of it, O-D with a line underneath of it, Ichabod, saying, The esteem has departed from Israel, because the ark of Elohim was taken, and because of her father-in-law and her husband. And she said, The esteem has departed from Israel, for the ark of Elohim was taken.